We chat to Jared Molko, CEO and co-founder of Yenza, an innovative career platform that he co-developed after his years at Google and traveling the globe. We also unpack the partnership with Community Keepers. That is our social newscast with me, Sam Marshall, brought to you by socialtv.co.za. Jared, thank you very much for your time. I think it's pertinent to start with the very first question about Yenza and the origin of this organization.
So I've worked for Google for 7 years across different markets in Africa, Middle East, and Europe. And when I left Google, I wanted to do something for South Africans in the youth employment, youth empowerment space, because I feel that's the most important area that needs to be addressed. And I really didn't feel that there was enough high quality technology based solutions that could really meaningfully impact people on a personal level, but also at scale. So I had a good look at what was happening in the careers space with regards to career guidance, career readiness, employability, skill development, and just felt that there was still a lot. That was the impetus for starting Yenza. Yenza means do or commit in Xhosa and Zulu, and that really underpins the ethos of the business, where we want to be people's career guides throughout their career journey, but we want to mobilize people to take action, to take responsibility, to commit to their futures. And so that's also why we chose the name Yenza, because it really is aligned to our mission, which is also to democratize high quality career guidance and help integrate people into the economy as effectively as possible.
I think this intervention comes at a time in a country where technology really can be a disruptive force, break down the stereotypical ideas of how long it takes to roll out these programs. How do you and where do you see Yenza positioned within this ecosystem in the context of youth and South Africa?
Yeah, that's a great question and well framed. So first and foremost, we believe that someone's career journey starts when they're having to choose subjects. As soon as you start to have to choose subjects, you have to start thinking very carefully about what career path you want to go down, and the subjects that you choose have got real long-term ramification in terms of your future prospects. So, one of the stats that really alarmed us is that around 80% of the youth coming through our education system don't have any formal or professional access to any kind of career guidance whatsoever. And these are kids coming through our secondary, high school education system. And around 70% of that youth are first generation. And so, where we see Yenza really fitting in is at the, start of someone's career journey, which is in the high school space. And then leading people through a process, through subject choice to tertiary decisions to linking them up with trainings and learnerships and bursaries and other job opportunities. But we feel core to our mission, if we are to succeed, is to really make Yenza pervasive in high schools across South Africa. We feel that we have built a platform that anyone from any background, at all ends of the socioeconomic spectrum can utilize the platform very easily, and it's a personal experience. And we're now working with government, we're working with partners of the DBE, we're working with a large number of schools. But what is missing at the moment are corporates or people that can help us overcome what is the biggest barrier, I would say, which is affordability. We are a social enterprise. We do charge for our services, even though they are very, very affordable. But we are still in a situation where we can actually access through our partners, large numbers of students and large numbers of schools, but we are yet to get various corporates on board to help us drive this, properly. And so, yeah, I do think that is a critical component in us succeed.
I've spent some time on your website, and that was actually a perfect segue to talk about your partnership with Community Keepers. But before we touch on that connection, I really just want to talk about one thing that I'm fascinated with now. As a journalist, I've been in many, many conversations, and as a techie, you, as you've said, your experience at Google, traveling parts of the world, doing your research and understanding that there's this gap. But what I'm fascinated with is the concept of skill based on strengths. And it is not something that I've actually heard a lot of. I know that there
Yeah.
are people that will listen to this and go, no, we've actually talked about it before, but I can't remember in recent memory being part of a conversation where people are talking about your skills being based on your strength. Just elaborate a little bit for me on that thinking, because I think that is really at the heart of maybe what could also make Yenza quite an exceptional offering.
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. Not a lot of people actually pick that one up, and it's actually a very important point. So, firstly, we've done a lot of research, and we're working with a lot of experts in the career development space, and everyone says the same thing. You can make an analogy to sports and high performance. So, you know, if you speak to a high performance coach, what they'll say to you, what they'll say to any athlete is spend 80% of your time maximizing your strengths and spend about 20% of your time improving on your weaknesses. To get the best out of someone, you need to hone in and focus on their strengths. And the reality is that the majority of people don't actually know what their strengths are. And they don't know how their strengths align to career choice. So, we're very focused on helping people to realize their potential, and by doing so, making it very clear to them what it is that they're actually good at, and giving them access to skills-based courses that can allow them to develop those strengths even further. And then another kind of point to make is that one of our taglines is you don't need a degree to succeed. And whilst we don't discourage people from getting, degrees and diplomas and all of those things, we also want to make it clear to people that you can develop skills very easily, very quickly. It's very accessible to do so, and you can become employable, in 3 to 6 months, and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg either to do so. There is a big shift towards what people call a skills-based economy, where qualification is becoming less and less important, and having actual skills to do the job is becoming more and more important. And we think that's a very positive shift, and we want to help people ride that wave as best as possible.
Yeah, and it also echoes the sentiments of people like Elon Musk and Warren Buffett, who believes that skills and heart and commitment and being driven is a lot more important than a qualification. How has this partnership come about with Community Keepers, and what are the kind of details and nitty gritties of that partnership?
Well, we received a generous grant from the Potter Education Foundation, and part of that grant was to roll out into 60 schools that typically wouldn't be able to afford Yenza, so it was subsidized through this grant. We were introduced to Community Keepers through other friends and colleagues of ours. And yeah, we're just so impressed by, the work that they're doing. And, as soon as we showed them Yenza, they were blown away. They were over the moon with the quality of the product. We did a couple test runs with with their staff and some of their kids, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. And now we're in the process of rolling Yenza out into 28 of their schools.
Jared, it was longer than 5 minutes, but it's quite fascinating. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sam, and thanks for asking some really nice questions, and all the best.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what a platform like this will do for not only South Africans but the continent of Africa, because I do think the continent,
Yeah,
as many corporates say, is the last frontier, but there's just so much potential on the continent. I can't wait to see what Yenza
yeah,
would do in Ghana,
thanks.
Nigeria, and Senegal.
Yeah, we're already starting to have conversations in Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana. And we do have ambitions for the whole continent. And I do believe that we've built a platform that can truly scale. We've got multilingual technology built into the platform so people can, go through our platform in their mother tongue. We've done a lot in terms of mobile experience, very data light. We're integrated into data-free environments. So we are trying to overcome all of those socioeconomic barriers that prevent, technology solutions in emerging markets from scaling. I do think we tick pretty much all of those boxes, and so far in rolling out into schools with kids who, have very basic devices, may have lower levels of technology literacy, English isn't their mother tongue, those kinds of constraints, they've been able to utilize the platform and been able to do it pretty seamlessly. So, yeah, we're very excited, and Community Keepers is a great partner, and it's going to be part of our journey for sure.